This Star Wars action figure sold for a record $525,000 at auction. What is so special about it? This is the Star Wars prototype rocket-firing Boba Fett L-slot action figure. But what makes this action figure one of the most rare collectibles of all time? The rocket-firing Boba Fett has been called the crown jewel of unproduced toys. It's become legendary as an iconic Star Wars Mandela effect, or far better termed, Rocket Fett syndrome. This is the action figure everyone thought they had, or thought that their friend had, but really, they didn't. Offered as a mail-away figure on Star Wars cardbacks in 1979, the rocket-firing Boba Fett was highly promoted by Kenner, cementing it in everyone's imaginations. 4 proof of purchase seals cut away from any Star Wars 3 3/4 action figure card, and this could have been yours. But when the Boba Fett figures arrived to children in the mail in 1979, Boba's plastic missiles had been sonically welded in place. This was a clear letdown. But helping this disappointment was a small letter explaining Kenner's safety concerns over the toy, necessitating its change. It offered a substitution of any Star Wars 3 3/4 action figure if they weren't satisfied with the redesign. If you like vintage toys, please consider subscribing to see more content like this, and please give this video a like. It really helps out my channel. The main reason for the rocket-firing Boba Fett to be cancelled was that Kenner's legal department had concerns over the toy's safety. But Kenner president Bernie Loomis was highly in favor of the project. Kenner engineers struggled to make the toy safe, and at the same time, rival toy company Mattel was experiencing their own problems with their popular Battlestar Galactica toy spaceships, which fired a similar sized projectile. There were several injuries with that toy, and one child's unfortunate passing. The culmination of these 2 events led to the rocket-firing Boba Fett to be cancelled. In the long run, Kenner did make the right decision. It's really uncertain exactly how many rocket-firing Boba Fetts were created before Kenner abandoned the concept for a safer, non-firing figure. These prototype examples that survive today in the hobby generally come from ex-Kenner employees who took examples home with them. All others are believed to have been destroyed, with none ever getting distributed to the public. Surviving figures featuring the original reverse L-slot latch number about 70. Mostly injected molded in blue-gray, these first shot figures are generally unpainted and were created to test the mold cavity functions before general production. These unpainted first shots lack all copyright and point of origin stamps to the back of the legs. Of the 70 examples believed to be in collectors' hands today, only 5 have been found hand-painted. 2 in production paint schemes as this example, and 3 in unique alternate paint schemes. One of only 2 examples known to exist, this hand-painted rocket-firing Boba Fett is unique in its class. While both surviving examples share similar traits, this lone specimen has its appendages and its head distinctly painted gray, a treatment not replicated on the other known example, making this really one of one. The lack of licensing and a country of origin stamp on the back of the legs confirms that this figure is a hand-painted first shot. The origins of this prototype figure and missile can be traced directly back to former Kenner employees. It has been part of the legendary Kern collection, which once boasted no less than 9 different rocket-firing Boba Fetts, known to collectors these days as the 9 holy grails in a row. This example has been enshrined in an acrylic case by AFA and awarded the grade of AFA 60EX for its rarity and historical significance. This is the grail of all action figure collecting grails. What do you think of the $525,000 price tag? And to put this price of $525,000 in context, just so you have a base of what a regular Boba Fett action figure costs, when I bought my loose Boba Fett action figure back in 2022, it set me back a whopping $64.75. and that's with shipping and fees included since I bought it from a seller on eBay. If you wanted to get this same collecting sheet that I use on my show and to keep track of my personal collection, they are available for download on thepadawancollector.com. The link is in the description of this video. These sheets are handy for me to keep track of my collection run and what I need or what I have, how much I bought it for, from who, and I also use it to place information like tracking numbers or seller's info in case I needed to follow up. Plus, I use it to keep track for insurance purposes. And the sheets I have on my website aren't just for action figures, vehicles, playsets, carrying cases, 12-inch, Ewoks, droids line, mini rigs. It's basically the entire Star Wars vintage collection. These sheets are available in versions where you can fully customize them and even replace the images and text and add more cells for other toy lines. I've even done a free tutorial video here on my channel showing you how you can build your own using free software from Google. Again, visit the links in my description to check those out and get a free gift when you visit my website. It's a visual checklist of what I think are the essential action figures that you need in a Star Wars vintage collection. Now, back to the video. So picking up where we left off about showing the price context of different versions of Boba Fett, if you wanted to go a step further and get a Boba Fett in his first USA Kenner card back from 1979, according to an app called the Star Wars Tracker, a 21A back, which was his first mint on card. That example sold on an auction site called Hakes on May 22nd, 2024 for $3,245. And that example was described as in fine or very good condition and not mint or near mint. You can even see that the hang tab has been punched out. So graded, this action figure would sell for more depending on what grade it got. So those prices just give you an inkling as to why the one that just sold was so phenomenal. So yes, on May 31st, 2024, on an auction site called Heritage, a 1979 one-of-a-kind hand-painted prototype Boba Fett L-slot action figure sold for $525,000. And now you know why. And if you wanted to own this action figure yourself right now, today, you can actually put in an offer to the owner for $656,250 to have this action figure in your collection right now. The owner is accepting offers through the Heritage Auction Company online as we speak. And if you are the owner, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about this piece. I would just love to know who the owner is, because that in itself is part of the lore about these action figures. Not only knowing about the action figure history itself and how much it sold for, but also who owns it and the history of who has owned it before. I think for action figures with this much historical significance, I think that is as much as part of the history as any of it. Don't you think? Let me know in the comments about that as well. To help me make content like this, please visit all the links in the description of this video. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and my members right here on YouTube who make these videos possible. And to watch more videos about vintage toys, click the links on your screen now. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.